G'day guys, Ross here, and today we're going to do a gardening job that starts by opening the fridge. Now in here I've got some special guests and I put them in here back in March or April and they've just been chilling out ever since. And I'm talking about tulips. Now when I say tulips, most people think they're synonymous with the Netherlands. And in fact, just over a year ago, back in April 2025, I was in Keukenhof Gardens in the Netherlands. That is 80 acres of some of the most beautiful garden you're ever going to see, with about 7 million bulbs and about 30,000 people a day looking at them. So very busy place, but absolutely gorgeous. I do have a video on that, long form video. It's one of my early ones. Don't judge me, but it does have some beautiful, beautiful pictures in it. Now, tulips did not originate in the Netherlands. Even though the Netherlands had them as currency at one point, people are literally losing their houses over these bulbs. And there are thousands of varieties. They are gorgeous and they are everywhere. They actually originated in Turkey, which of course is a country that spans both Asia and Europe. And I was there as well about a month later. And they also have some beautiful displays of tulips. The thing about tulips is they need cold weather to get them in the mood, to prime them. So a really cold winter, followed by that ground warming up in spring, and they'll send up a little shoot to start with, which will turn into some fairly thick leaves. And coming up the middle of that will be your tulips. You buy them when they're available at the Green Life, and you chuck them in your fridge. Now what you don't do is sit them next to fruit, because fruit sets off ethylene gas or releases ethylene gas, and that can impact on the bulbs. So keep these separate. I've had them in a crisper by themselves now for about 2 months, and today I'm going to take these chilled out guys and introduce them to a bit of sunshine and dirt. Basically what you want is somewhere with really good drainage and plenty of sunshine. So this is a north facing garden, so it gets the sun for the entire day, and this is where I've had some tomatoes growing, which are now finished off. And there's lots and lots of compost in there, and there's lots of drainage, so they're going to have no problem with that. Tulips do not like wet feet, so if you're putting them into something like heavy clay, you really need to prepare that quite well to make sure your drainage is good. Now what we're going to do is we're simply going to plant the pointy end up, and that's going to go about 10 centimetres down into the ground. There we go, and they're about 10 centimetres apart, and that's all we have to do. Just be aware that they're not natural to a lot of places. And if you expect them all to come up, you're probably going to be disappointed. So I'm starting with some quite healthy ones, and we can see here, if I take a close up, a nice healthy bulb. It's nice and firm, but you can see this one's actually got a daughter. So it's got a bulb and a daughter bulb. So there's every chance I'll get 2 flowers out of this, so that will be great if I can. And the idea with tulips is that over time, they do throw more bulbs up. However, in Australia especially, that's not as likely as you'd hope, and that's generally because it just gets too warm, and if you leave them in the ground over spring and summer, it stresses them, and your chance of actually getting those bulbs spreading is minimal. In fact, you might find next year you get no bulbs at all, and I've had that happen on a number of occasions. Now this doesn't look like much behind me here, but with any luck, in a couple of months, it'll be a bed of tulips and it'll look really, really lovely. This year what I'm going to try and do is lift them at the end of the flowering period. So they're going to flower, they'll die back, they all turn yellow, and at that point you take the bulbs out, lift them carefully. With any luck, they're split, I've got daughter bulbs, and if that happens then I'll be able to dry them out, store them in a dark place, and then next March I'll put them back in the fridge, get them ready again, and put them back in the ground. And for that reason I'm going to keep these packets, because I know exactly what they are. One thing I would suggest, don't necessarily put them in the front garden right next to the main street, because people can be light-fingered, and that's why we can't have nice things. So put them somewhere where you're going to enjoy them, but no one else is going to take them. Anyway, there you go. Thanks for your time as always. Until next time, happy gardening. See ya.